Greetings, family. It's Empress D. Obviously, in the sun, there's not a cloud in the sky. It's just beautiful outside. I hope everybody's getting a chance to enjoy this type of weather where they're at. Okay, family? All right. So today we're going to talk about it. So rest in peace or in power. Rest well to Kevin Samuels. He passed away a few years ago, and one of the terms that he's the first person I've ever heard use is the term high value. Okay, and another term that I've never heard of before him was the term sexual marketplace value. So, shout out to the deceased Kevin Samuels for. Sorry?
Is that a bird thing?
No, I'm actually doing a video. Anyway, so the thing that I wanted to really recognize him for is coining those two terms. So at least for me, I've never heard of them before him. So again, high value. He often talked about being a high value man and what high value men get. And he also spoke about sexual marketplace value. So I'll talk about both of them or explain both of them to the best of my ability without having researched the term, if you haven't heard of them before or know what they mean. So sexual marketplace value. Now, I really should have done a bit of research before trying to explain it, but what I understand it to be is it's a calculation of certain parameters for a man. So his height, his income, that kind of thing, build, body, physique, that kind of thing, and it gives him a score in terms of his sexual marketplace value. So and vice versa for women. There's also a marketplace value for women, and it's her ability to childbear, or like in terms of her age, her body type, and all that, whatever they calculated. I've never looked at it, but I know it's a thing, and so there's that. And then the other term that I first heard him use is high value, right? And he often used it in describing a high value man, in being a man who earns well and is good looking and tall, and I guess his philosophy, and then I guess in alignment with what people seem to think a high value man is that he is, a very small percentage of men, and he has the pick of the litter. He can have any woman he wants, and therefore that's just what's up, and people and women have to know that, right? So that's Kevin Samuels. So, there's a lot of things that Kevin Samuels said that I agreed with, and I think that he was really shining a light on. But there's a lot as well that I did not agree with, okay? And now I want to talk about my perspective of what high value is, okay? I'm not going to speak to the sexual marketplace thing because, man, whatever. But in terms of high value, this is what I consider to be high value. So I think if you've listened or heard my videos before, I've spoken about the 5 areas of life that I try to focus on or pay attention to every day in order to optimize, in order to be the best me that I could be. Hi, baby, you're okay. And also to, on my journey to know myself, right? So the 5 areas being my finances, my physical body, my mind in terms of learning, exercising it, my spirituality, and lastly, my relationships. Those are 5 areas of my life that I try to pay attention to and try to optimize at the best to my ability, right? And so I think that if you focus on those 5 areas and you're making progress and evolving and expanding in those areas, that increases your value, right? And so the more of those 5 areas that you're working on and the higher your value, at least from my perspective, right? So Mr. Kevin Samuels, it's not just your looks and your height. It's so for me, it's there's 5 areas, right? So the hierarchies to me is that, and I will put, and I think I've ranked them before, and let me try to rank again. So number 1 to me would be spirituality. It really is, and that's the relationship with our Creator and with ourself. The second would be relationships with others. I think that's the other most important thing that we are supposed to be trying to achieve on this planet, is healthy, loving relationships on this planet, right? So I think that your relationships are second, okay? Third, I think we have to take care of our body. We have to take care of our body. Like, it's the vessel that our soul lives within, right? Followed after that would be our mind, right? Our mind. We have to make sure that we are sharpening our mind every day. We are exercising it. We're not remaining idle. We're not doing something to invoke the use of the beautiful circuitry that we have housed within our skull. We have to use it. And so that's the 4. I've named 4. And as you can see, to me, finances is the last in terms of ranking. And because I truly know that if you are working and evolving on all of those 4 areas, eventually, sorry family, it'll lead to financial abundance. I promise you, family. Okay? And so that's the way I see it. So that's how I would value or evaluate a high value man or woman. And so, that's the criteria by which I evaluate myself. And so I would encourage you to, if you don't want to adopt this criteria, adopt some kind of criteria evaluating yourselves, family, or ourselves, family, because see, we can't grow and expand unless we do that, right? Okay, so that's my high value man and high value woman, family. That's my definition. Somebody that's working on all those 5 areas of their life, family. Anyway, thank you for taking the time to listen to this message. I love and I value each and every one of you, family. One love.